This conference will now be recorded.
Yes.
You want to
So
go back
to the
here.
Job Center. Don't do anything with that one. I want to keep it looking pink right now.
Okay.
But we're going to, back to the Device Center, we're going to edit that spot color. So the Device Center tab at the top, you're at the Job Center, right?
Okay. Affecting my thing. Okay.
There we go.
Device Center.
Okay. And a little side note, before you ever edit spot colors, and I know that you calibrated recently already, so I'm not going to drill this too hard, but never do anything with spot colors unless your machine has been recently auto gradation and calibration performed.
Okay. We usually do that every morning.
That's
so
good. You'll be
is that
fine.
enough? Or?
That is enough. Yes. So first things first, you will commonly be, you'll start off in the General tab. It's in Resources right now because that's where we left off last. But you're already in the right place, but you'll probably start off in General. Either Color Setup or Resources will get you to where you need to be.
Okay, I'll go here because that's what I know.
Good. And for the sake of Mark, do a single click on either of those MMP CDAs.
Okay.
And a right click.
Okay.
Right click.
It doesn't
Right
matter
click
which
and
one.
rename.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
There you go.
So we can do
You can name it. Just name it MP is fine.
There you go. And the difference, we have two of them here. We have one that is, we call it substitute color, but that doesn't mean anything to anybody. So I use CMYK RGB instead. Go ahead and edit the one for CDA spot as well, because both of these, the task on both of these is to remap colors.
Oh, the whole thing.
The substitute color, that works with RGB and CMYK. And I'm doing something wrong and missing a step. Yeah, you can go ahead and enter on that one, or MP. There you go.
Oh, that's fine.
Did you want me to do both of them?
Yeah, you might as well. Come this far. Sure.
Okay.
Okay.
And to create those, the plus symbol up above, we already have these two created, so you don't need to create any new group names. But inside of each, they're contextual. So right now, if you click the green plus up above, you will only get an option to create a new substitute color. Don't choose that. Go down below and pick the CDA spot instead.
Oh, you want me to choose this one?
Yes. And then where it says new, we're not going to create anything, but you see now spot color is selectable, but substitute color is not. So that's one of those intricacies that isn't really covered well in documentation, but you can create here either a new group, which is spot colors. It's something else that they substitute color, a substitute group is a new thing. So group was always just that. They never renamed it to be spot group, if that makes sense. So you see four options. You have group and you have substitute group. You have spot color and you have substitute color.
Okay.
And there's nothing in here, I don't think, that will show you. Actually, there is. These are maybe a little bit different in how they look, but it's really, really small and it's just indistinguishable. So just go ahead and double click on that hospice that is collected over on the right. And because we exited without saving it, none of our stuff stayed. So we can exit from here and reinitialize our instrument, because I don't think either of us recorded what these values were supposed to be. So we just click OK here.
Okay.
And before we do anything, check our properties up on top, because when we print this, we don't want it to go on A4. And your paper catalog, yes. So for that one, and your color, we want this to make sure we're going to the correct output profile.
Smoothing also.
Okay, you want to go to color and basic and here and here.
Yes.
Right?
Yes. Yes.
Okay.
And that is okay for this screen.
Okay.
That one's not as important for your custom colors as it is for modifying Pantone colors. So, oh, and it's stuck. You see that? We didn't do anything.
Yep.
Because you picked your heavy out, your heavy coated, it went back to the one that we just dialed in. So our original on this one was red. And because we've modified it since, if you double click on that one now, you had already determined that your desired color was center bottom left, so southwest. About 730 on the center honeycomb. I think you determined that it was that one, the one that's bottom and left, is the one that you wanted to be your new center.
Yes.
So go ahead and click on that one. That becomes your new center. And I don't know if you've noticed or not, but whenever you mouse over any of those honeycomb sections, your toner levels will change, and you can see visually on the right the numbers and their graph values. So if you print this now, I'm hoping that that center is spot on for you.
Okay.
Did you hit print?
I did.
Which is why this feature was originally called Spot On.
Yeah, and if not, at least we know what to do to get there, right?
Yes,
So,
yes.
So the point being, any job, once I actually set, this is what's a little confusing to me. Anytime I pick a job that's on 16 point, and if I actually went in there and chose heavy, it's going to be this color.
Yes, and we have to make sure that spot color is checked and substitute color is enabled. So go ahead and click OK on this one. We're going to let this one go as our new color for the color name Hospice.
Okay.
And close this dialog so that we, I'm sorry, don't close. Back to the Job Center tab.
Okay.
On that top one, do a right click on that one and remove raster.
Go on here.
Yes.
Okay.
Go back to it and process and hold.
So here we go.
And select it, single click. It's the very top one.
Okay, we're looking at our new print now.
That one should match the center one.
It looks pretty good. Let's do the center one.
Yeah.
Just don't know if it matches that chip, but the lighting in here.
Maybe not perfect, but
yeah, we got the idea of how to get it there.
Good. Yeah, hit Jeff.
Unless it's more green to me than blue.
yeah.
The chip. Okay, so what do you want me to do with Jeff now?
Single click on that top one.
Single click. Okay.
Okay, and that didn't change our colors for us. Double click on that one. And basic settings, let's make sure that our output is, oh, it's job defined. Heavy coated, okay. And let's see, we have substitute colors enabled. And down at the bottom where it's right next to where it says print, that little chevron, the down arrows next to print. No, there's no option there. Just click OK.
No, because it's already raster size.
Yeah, and then remove raster and then process and hold again.
Whatever. Okay.
Okay, one more click on Jeff test file. There it is. Okay. I'd be scared for a minute there. Okay, so for whatever reason, it lost our output profile when we removed the raster on that one time, but now it's back. So if you want to push that out to paper, I'm curious to see how we look.
Okay, you want me to print it? Okay.
Yeah. Currently, it's going out to 1218 any media type.
And that composite is
Yeah, do a double check and never mind, let it go. I was going to have you
What
double
was
check
that?
I was going to have you double check our output profile, but we should still be the same.
I think it's only composite overprint because it's substitute colors too.
I don't think so. I think it always has, if I were to open up, make sure it's in the default.
Are you guys seeing Andrea's screen right now?
Yes.
She's got, I didn't know this, but it seems to be that she's got that composite overprint checked as the default. And I would like to get that off of the default setup for the job properties.
Okay. Cancel this
How do
one.
you do that? What's that?
Cancel this screen.
Okay.
And then up to device center.
Yeah.
Let's see. I am used to working in version 6. So let's see, profiles, fonts, color setup. I'm looking for where my defaults are. Under general, server configuration, and tray tools. Preferences, that's for calibrate, backup and restore. Dang it. Where are my defaults for server configuration? Oh.
Sorry. I'm just kind
No,
of
it's
clicking
okay.
through here. Profile?
Good. Yeah, because I also want to get rid of that A4 as our default. It's bugging me that try workflows.
Oh yeah, I don't know how that happened. How that got settings? No.
No, that's for whatever is currently selected. The workflow.
You still there?
Yes. Did I drop?
Okay. It sounded like I lost you.
Click the workflows tab. It's the 4th tab at the top.
Workflows? Okay.
Yeah. We're still not on defaults. Up in the top where file, edit, go, server, view. At the very top left.
Oh, up here?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
Server.
Where do you want me? You want me to
Click
go here?
pull down
Okay.
server. Yeah. There's an option here to change our defaults. Connect name, switch user, switch to start calibrate configure. View.
To the right.
Oh.
Yeah, that's not it. Let me take over for you a second here instead of just having you
Okay.
follow the prompt. No.
You know what? I don't want to take you guys too far off track. I would rather just we can play with this later after so we solve this teal problem.
Okay.
No. Well, I think, I don't know what's happening. I think that, yeah, that test print that we did doesn't seem to turn out right.
Did not?
No, it didn't.
I can't. It looks to me like it might match that color. It's just. Those colors later. As long as we know how to do it, we know how to change it.
Yeah. Oh, they want it more blue. Okay. Well.
So go away.
Okay. It was pretty blue. It was more blue than it should be.
Yeah, it's hard to tell unless we take it outside and cut those chips out and place it on it.
You want to modify that while we're on the call? Or do you want to practice it with it on your own?
can probably,
I
I mean, personally, I think we can practice on our own.
I think we can
Okay.
practice on our own. I just can you take us one more time with through how to adjust our values?
Yes. So default view is Jib's Job Center to Device Center.
Okay.
If you go to color setup, it's going to be under spot color. And for us, normally, if you get a real spot color in, it's probably going to be solid coated, which is probably that one. Yes. And with that selected, find
5493.
5493. Next, cancel. And before we double click on that, we want to come up and verify our properties. If we're going to be spitting out sheets, we want to make sure and pick the sheet that it's going to go out on. But what's most important is we want to associate it with an output profile. That can be here or under expert settings. That would be here. It's the same thing from a different place. Come on. There. So, and that one, like I say, it's the same thing. It's just, it shows up in a different place on this one. Click OK. Now we can double click that one and edit it from here. There are two ways to do that. One of them is if you have fired up the instrument here first, you can use that to sample something and make it the new center. You can define your values manually here. You can print this out and choose whichever one is most appropriate for you based on your output. And the other option is by brightness or saturation. Saturation is the most common, that's why it's the default. And if you really want to dial things in, if you go fine, you can get this down to where it's almost indiscernible, especially looking on the monitor, or coarse. And this is if you're just really trying to dial it in from being way off. But down the center, click print, and that will spit out, and it's a matter of making choices in a visual appearance. Once you click OK, if we have, I'm going to modify this on purpose so that it's something different from factory. If you decide that, you know what, I really need to go this back to factory settings because I'm making a bigger mess than what we bargained for. 2 clicks, revert to factory, yes, and you have undone everything you've done.
Okay. So for starters, we get a lot of different files or slightly altered files from hospice. Do we have, does our designer need to let us know what the CMYK color of teal is that we are converting each time?
Only if
they're changing the number.
If the PDF comes to you with CMYK numbers, that's going to be over here, and that's the one that I failed on. So I'm going to they'll practice that offline and figure out what I did wrong. But the one that's most commonly used is spot colors, and this works because I created a spot color called Pantone or called Hospice. But for you guys in your normal day-to-day stuff, it's going to be an edit of one of the actual Pantone colors.
So if you go back to that hospice one for a second, so
yes,
the hospice color is being converted to 46.5 by 1921.0 is the CMYK formula.
Yes,
that's what we actually converted it to.
Correct.
Okay. So I think one of the problems we're starting to have with them is that their designer, who's not really a designer, is going into Canva quite often and choosing a color of teal, and then they send it over to us. We go through and convert everything that we can to our colors, or to the colors that they've agreed upon in the past, and try to make that work. So if we can get them to convert it to the proper CMYK colors, we can still do this color substitution and try to get it to print to the hospice green whenever it detects a certain CMYK value.
Yes,
correct?
and that would be under this one.
Okay.
So when you do that, if you're going CMYK and you don't like how your CMYK is actually printing, you need to create like a new substitute color. You say it's either going to be CMYK and you define what they're sending you, and then you define how you want it to be. The
Yeah.
other two options
I don't,
are if they send you something that's RGB, you select that here, dial it in, and then say, this is what I want your converted color to look like.
Isn't it easier
Right.
just to have them always send Pantone and just,
Yes.
but that's what I kind of want to make clear is you should, in my opinion, just say it always needs to be a Pantone. And then you only have one variable to worry about instead of having Pantone, RGB, and CMYK.
Yes.
yeah, I
This
don't
creates
think
so
I'll be
much
able
extra
to
work.
teach. I don't think I'll be able to teach the client how to do that, but we could have our designers in-house swap whatever greens they send us to whatever Pantone, a single Pantone color.
Perfect. Perfect.
Yes. And we also sell software that does that really nicely. But I don't know if the customer's income is worth the investment for that, if that's its only purpose. It's make-ready software that we sell that lets you go through the entire document and change all the colors into something that you can predict.
All right. Well, we'll cross that bridge later.
Okay. I'm going to stop this recording and I'll get it. Stop this.